Hey everybody, hey Jim. Welcome back to Garrett's Garage. This is the big budget episode. You may notice, you may not, but you may notice that I've increased the budget for special effects a little bit on this episode. Right now, we're driving along in the Z4. It's got problems. Big surprise. It's never been able to pass California smog. You know, when I bought the car, I scanned it, and I bought the car in Missouri, for those of you that don't recall. I bought it in Missouri from a stripper, and I drove it home to California. And it had the check engine light on when I got the car. I scanned it at the time, and it came back with a P0456, I believe, which a quick glance on the Internet of all things told me all I really needed was a new gas cap. Awesome. So I bought the car, drove it home, air conditioner didn't work, and sure enough, got a new gas cap, put it on, cleared the codes. Guess what? Check engine light came back, won't pass smog. So I went back to the Internet of Things, and yeah, next step is the Purge Valve, which is up in the front next to the left side of the engine, driver's side of the engine. Anyway, I got one of those. So without really diagnosing the problem, I'm just throwing parts at it. And I put in the Purge Valve, and I replaced a couple of hoses. Everything looks good. Reset it, and 210 miles later, it throws the code again. P0456, exactly the same. So then, I forget even what else I did. I did a couple other things to try. I cleaned where the gas cap seats, and I just tried all these different things. It means there's a tiny little leak in the evaporative system in the filler tank, or somewhere in the fuel system. So finally, I took it over to a friend of mine who's a BMW specialist and paid him to diagnose the problem. He comes up with a bad O-ring where the filler neck is connected. It's a bad O-ring. Oh, okay. He hooked it up to a smoke machine, and that's where the smoke was coming out. Bad O-ring? Okay. So he went ahead and put in the O-ring, thinking the car's going to finally pass smog. Guess what? About 80 miles later, the check engine light came on again. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that. So now it's a different number. It's P0440. The car just expired. The registration just expired on August 1st. I have not been able to get the car registered in California because of this check engine problem. I have one more idea, and it's absolutely perfect. It's going to solve the issue 100%. I guarantee it. I will never have another problem with this car of any type. It's a surefire idea. I guarantee it. So all you need to do is park the car in a big open field like this. Walk away a little bit. Now, it helps if you're in, I don't know, California or maybe Afghanistan, but here's how we fix BMWs that don't cooperate. Yeah, if only that was true. If only. On top of the charcoal canister, there is a little pump that comes on to test the evaporative system and all of that. And it comes on every once in a while and does a test. And I've been told that the next most likely thing is that pump has died. So without doing an absolute test to know for sure, I'm going to believe the scuttlebutt, and I'm just going to go ahead and replace that pump. And that's what I'm doing today. And you're going to get to watch. Well, here we are in the garage. I'm preparing to adjust the lift points on the lift and pick it up. The gas tank somewhere over here, since there's our filler. Never had this off with this kind of car before, so this should be interesting. Oh, it's kind of hot in here. There's going to be fan noise in the background because there's no way I'm going to stay in here without at least a box fan blowing on me, so sorry for that. But we're back in with the garage chart. Let's check it out. It all looks pretty good. We get down to the Z4, we see that, is it legal? The second one over, Z4, nope, it's no longer legal as of August 1st. And I scanned it, and I scanned it before when I got the 0456, and I noticed on the very bottom, when I got into the deeper codes and things that were stored, there was this thing on the bottom that said DMTL leakage. And that didn't really mean anything to me at the time, but now that our P0440, I should say 0440, that indicates a DMTL leak. And when you look that up, that's what the name of that pump is. This is the DMTL pump that almost all of this vintage BMWs use, the same one. And this is the thing that just tests the system for airtightness. Make sure it's not leaking gas fumes and causing smog. Ah, smog. Okay, so let's see if we can dig into this. I'm going to first off take off this passenger side rear wheel, and we'll get on with it. I think I might even switch over to my nifty new chest camera mount so I can use both my hands. Alright, with our wheel off, we can look up in here, and I'm going to have to pull off this inside plastic fender liner. It looks like it's held on by a bunch of little plastic nuts. Look like they're maybe 8 millimeters? I don't know. I'll go get my little hand ratchet and a selection of little sockets, and we'll go ahead and pull this off and have a look what is underneath. Or we can fix it a different way. Well, that was fun. So these guys here, these are 8s. And then these plastic nut thingies, these are 10s. So I'm going to go ahead and pull these all out, and we'll drop that fender liner. I have succeeded in removing the inner fender well. And right back here is our charcoal canister. And it has writing on it indicating what year and model it's from, which tells me this is a junkyard piece, which my friend who had looked into this earlier had already told me it had a junkyard canister in it. That's probably not good, and I think that's our pump right here. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this down so it's easier to work on, and then remove this pump and see about putting in our new one, and keep our fingers crossed that that will solve the problem, and the stupid ghost that lives in this fuel system won't return again. Well, while it might seem like a portal to hell, hopefully this will solve it. I found it interesting that looking at the markings on the bottom of this original one, this one is says made in France, Bosch part. The date code on it is interesting.
It says somewhere at the very top, I don't know if you can see it, it says 2003, 7/6/2003 or 7/6/17 maybe. Anyway, that means that this was the original part, and this was an early edition of a 2004, because I'm guessing this is the original part that was on this canister, and this came from a junkyard, so it's probably okay to replace it with this lovely new one that, if we look at the bottom on it, it's pretty nice white ivory casting. It is also a Bosch part, also made in France, and its date code is 10/6/2017. So this is going to be, I guess that makes it, what, 14 years newer, roughly? So hopefully this will solve our problem, and the ghost will be exorcised. I have it all back together. The wiring's back in, the plug's in. If my ghost returns, I'm going to be suspicious of a little rubber seal that goes between the pump and the charcoal canister. It looked like it should have probably been replaced, but it did not come with the pump. This isn't that hard to get to. You know, if I really just set out to do it, I could probably get in here, pull this out, and replace that rubber thing for, you know, maybe half an hour if I wasn't making a video. So it's not that big a deal. If it comes back, I'll go in and replace this rubber thing and hope that vanquishes the ghost. Actually, I'm hoping this does it. And it didn't look that bad. It just seemed like a rubber component like that should have come with the pump. It should just be something that's replaced with it, but hey, what do I know? I'm not Bosch. I have the inner fender well back in. All the fasteners in place, everything's good. So now I'm gonna lower the car back down so I don't have to lift this wheel up quite so high, and remount it, and we're done for today. I'm gonna reset the computer, and then it has to be driven 150, 200 miles before all the little subcomputers reset. And then I can get it to pass smog, assuming this vanquished the ghost. Keep your fingers crossed. Thanks for watching.